Have you ever wondered why some organizations rise steadily and others rise subtly? Why some grow inch by inch and others leap forward by miles? One word explains the difference: leaders. Hello, my friends, and welcome to Living the Laws. I'm your host, Larry Law Sr., and it is truly an honor to have you here with me for another powerful edition of Wednesday Wisdom Live. This is your midweek reset, a place where leaders like you come to refocus, recharge, and raise a little higher in your leadership journey. Today, we step into a principle that has shaped armies, corporations, nonprofits, and even families: the law of explosive growth. John Maxwell said it best: to add growth, lead followers. To multiply growth, lead leaders. Today, we'll discuss multiplication. Now, what is explosive growth? Explosive growth is not addition. It is not incremental. It is not slow. Explosive growth is a surge, momentum so strong that it feels as if progress accelerates on its own. In any organization, whether a military unit, a nonprofit agency, a business, or a family, there are only two ways to grow: by addition or multiplication. Addition, you work hard, push more, serve more, and add value, one person at a time. Now, on the other hand, multiplication, you develop other leaders who now extend the mission far beyond your individual reach. In the Army, I learned early on that successful mission never depends on just one person. Success comes when every squad leader, every team leader, and every NCO thinks like a leader, acts like a leader, and duplicates leadership in others. The same principle applies everywhere. Followers add leaders, multiply. On the chessboard, pawns add pressure, but connected rooks multiply power. One rook is strong. Two rooks on the same file. Now, that's a force multiplication. When rooks support one another, they are aligned. They control entire corridors of the board. Their combined power increases faster than their own individual strength. That is explosive growth. In leadership, your rooks are the leaders you raise up. When aligned and empowered, they multiply pressure, influence, they reach and impact. Your job is not just to move pieces, it's to develop leaders who move pieces with you. Now, there is a limitation on leading followers. Here is the truth. Many leaders struggle with: if you lead only followers, your growth will always be limited by your personal capabilities. It does not matter how disciplined, how talented, how dedicated you are, there is a ceiling. You can only handle so many calls. You can only mentor so many people. You can only advance so many missions. So this is where many organizations plateau. They have one strong leader, but few developed leaders. Addition is good until the load becomes too heavy. On the other hand, multiplication is better because it shifts the weight from a team. Think about it. When you develop leaders, something powerful happens. You increase the organization's capacity. You expand the mission's reach. You create stability and additional strength. You multiply impact far beyond your personal contribution. Every strong leader must learn to shift from being the hero to building heroes. That is the shift that creates explosive growth. Let me put it a different way. Followers need direction. Leaders need empowerment. Multiplying leaders need opportunity. An organization becomes unstoppable when its leaders are not simply working for the mission, but working on the mission. You may wonder what explosive growth look like. Well, explosive growth happens, one, when you intentionally develop leaders, not just help people. Secondly, explosive growth happens when you delegate authority, not just tasks. Explosive growth happens when you shift from doing to developing. This growth also happens when you create layers of leadership, leaders who grow other leaders. And finally, explosive growth happens when you build a culture where leaders is expected, celebrated, and reproduced. This is how a small organization become a regional force. This is how a small team become a movement. And this is how a family begins building generational wealth. This is also how a military unit become more than the sum of its personnel. Leadership is the multiplying agent. According to John Maxwell, there are three types of people in an organization. First, you have followers. They need direction. They are essential, but they do not multiply growth. Next, you have achievers. They are strong. They produce results, but they still do not multiply growth. Then there are leaders. They multiply results by raising up more leaders. Your mission is as a leader is to identify, develop, and empower level 3 individuals. The moment you do that, you activate explosive growth. It is not magic. It is multiplication. Let me share a brief reflection from my own journey in the military. When I became a sergeant for the first time, my unit sent me to a leadership academy. It was designed for non-commissioned officers. There, I learned that being a leader was not merely about leading followers. It was about cultivating the ability to develop other leaders, developing individuals to become leaders themselves. What we often call train the trainer. That experience taught me that true leadership isn't just about giving orders or setting the pace for yourself. It's about creating an environment where others can grow into capable leaders. By training others to lead, you multiply your impact. This reflection is a reminder that explosive growth happens not when you lead alone, but when you build a chain of leadership. Here are 3 actions leaders must take immediately. First, identify potential leaders. Look for teachable, integrity, initiative, influence, and a heart for service. In nearly every case, potential always precedes position. Second, invest in the growth. Provide mentorship, training, responsibility, accountability, and expose to a bigger opportunity. Leaders grow from challenge, not comfort. And 3, empower them to lead themselves real opportunity, real ownership. Give them real outcomes. If you train leaders but do not release them, you only develop frustration, not multiplication. Empowerment is the key that unlocks explosive growth. In conclusion, my friend, here's the truth of leadership, which you must embrace. If you want to grow, lead people. If you want to explode growth, develop leaders. Impact through followers lasts for a season, but impact built through leaders create a legacy. Explosive growth is not a matter of luck. It's a matter of intentional leadership. It requires vision, discipline, and the courage to pour into others. When you raise leaders, you multiply strength. When you empower leaders, you multiply capacity. When you release leaders, you multiply the mission. Your future influence will be measured by the level you reach, but not by the level you reach, but by the level you lift others. So tonight, I challenge you, invest in someone, develop someone, empower someone. Raise leaders who will raise more leaders. Because when you do that, you unlock not just progress, but explosive transformation. So that is the path to legacy. That is the path to impact. And indeed, that is the law of explosive growth. I encourage you to now take the next step. Explore your own leadership style. I invite you to scan the QR code on your screen or visit our website to take the leadership assessment tool. Discover the type of leader you are and begin multiplying your own impact. Until next time, my friends, stay wise, stay ready, and keep living the laws. I am Larry Laws Sr., and I want to remind you to think before you move and to make your next move your best move.